everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. I'm going to be sharing my #1 most used product in each different makeup category. Okay, I feel like I get asked a question a lot of if you had to choose one, if you had to pick one, if you had to number one. Everyone always wants to know a #1 of something, whatever it may be. They want to know a #1. And recently I filmed a video, I think it was my makeup that I did get my money's worth out of, and I found I kept mentioning in there, this is my most used product right now, my most used powder, my most used lipstick, whatever it may be. This is my most used right now. So I thought with the comments I get along with me saying that, I thought maybe it would be fun if I narrow it down. I'm not talking top 2, top 3, I'm talking my #1 most used currently in my makeup collection for each different category. I don't know, thought it could be fun. But if you want to see that, why don't we go ahead and jump into this video. Before we start off, I did want to say I did film this look. If the video is up, I will have it linked down below. If it's not yet, I am pre-filming way far in advance. I have no idea what my schedule is going to look like because we are going on vacation. But this is my anti-Valentine's Day Valentine look that will be going up on YouTube. So again, if it's up, I'll link it. If not, it will be coming soon to YouTube if you are interested. Okay, so it was not that hard picking out my most used, because you know, I'm not talking about my favorite, because a lot of times when people are like, what's your favorite, your #1 in that category, I'm always like, well, my top 3 are is how I answer it. But if I'm talking about my most used, you know, kind of currently within the last couple weeks here, last month or so, my most used, I actually found it pretty easy to narrow it down in the different categories. My most used, my most reached for primer at this moment is the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow. It's the primer that I used today. It definitely is a favorite primer of mine right now, but it's just one I can't stop reaching for. I feel like it makes all of my foundations look so beautiful. But I also chose this because I wear it when I don't wear foundation either. I did a 10-minute makeup routine a couple weeks ago here on YouTube, and I just used like concealer, and this is the primer that I use because it makes my skin look so darn beautiful. So definitely the Charlotte Tilbury. This is such an expensive primer, but you get a lot of products, so I mean, I can use this for a very long time, which is awesome. But that's definitely my most used primer at the moment. I did also do a video, this was like last year, I did my most used makeup products off camera. I'll link that one down below too in case you would want to see it. That one just kind of popped into my head, but I've done that video too. It's kind of similar to this one, but this is just currently and on camera and off camera, you know? Okay. For foundation, this was one I kind of struggled with because, you know, I test out new foundations a lot. You know, I do a project pan now. I have my 9 and 19 project pan that has foundations. I also do a shop to my stash every month. So I have a separate bag with, you know, some older products in my collection that I'm really trying to use up. But when I looked at all my foundations and really thought about what is it that I'm reaching for the most, what's kind of just my go-to right now for a lot of different occasions, and that is my Lancome Teint Idole foundation. Now I grabbed out 2 different shades because a lot of times I actually mix these. I am self-tanning right now, so sometimes I kind of have to cocktail foundations together to get my perfect shade, but these 2 are the ones that I reach for the most. This one is in Cool Bisque, 310 Bisque Cool, and this one is in 320 Bisque Warm. So a lot of times, like I said, I'll mix them to get my perfect shade. This is a really nice shade for when I'm not self-tan. This one is a little bit better when I do have a little bit of a tan going on, but I really like the Lancome foundation. It's very long wearing. It gives a nice medium to full coverage, and it has a very natural finish to it. I feel like it pairs really well with my Charlotte Tilbury primer, but also a lot of other primers. I just feel like it's just such a solid foundation, and I can wear it for, you know, all different types of occasions, but I just find myself reaching for this one over and over again. I do actually have, I think it's just this one that I put in my 9 and 19 project pan, so that's definitely something, you know, that could play into me wanting to continually reaching for this since I do have it out, but I just feel like my skin looks so beautiful when I wear this foundation. So for right now, I would definitely have to give it to the Lancome. If you guys would want to see me do this maybe every couple months or so, like every quarter or something, I could do my most used right now, because definitely, of course, it's going to change as you get new favorites or products that you're trying to use up, etc. But let me know if you'd want to see more of these. For concealer, I mean, 100% for sure, it's the Too Faced Born This Way. This is just my most reached for concealer right now. It's definitely a favorite of mine. You know, I probably have 3, 4 favorite concealers right now, but if I'm talking about my most used, it's for sure the Too Faced Born This Way. The shade that I'm using a lot right now is in light beige. Sometimes I wear nude if I'm not quite as tan as well, but light beige is definitely the one that I'm reaching for the most. This is again what I typically reach for if I'm doing a no foundation makeup routine. Even if I'm not doing as much makeup as I do in that 10-minute routine, I'm just kind of running somewhere, or I just want my under eyes to look a little bit on the nicer side, cancel out some redness, etc. I keep going for the Too Faced Born This Way. It's nice and hydrating, it's easy to blend out, it looks good on the under eyes, and I really do like the coverage. So hands down, that one I didn't even have to question, it was the Too Faced. I really did want to include a powder for the under eyes or for the face. I kind of was going back and forth what I was going to do, but I decided to include an under eye powder because I don't always powder my face. Like today I don't have face powder on over my foundation, but I generally will always set my under eyes, my concealer. And right now it does have to go to the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This one I did feature in makeup that I have gotten my money's worth. I will get my money's worth. And I believe I said in there, this is my most used powder right now. This one, along with the Lawless Beauty Brightening Powder, I use that one a ton, but honestly, I use the Hourglass more. I used it today on my under eyes. It's such a beautiful powder. It's lightweight. It makes the under eyes look so good, and just not like you're wearing a lot of makeup. Sometimes loose powders can kind of cake up on the under eyes, especially. Not this one from Hourglass. It is so beautiful. So definitely that is my most worn powder right now. For contour, definitely it's the contour I have on today. It's from TheBalm. This is Take Home the Bronze in Oliver. I'm using this contour shade like crazy. Since I got it sent to me from TheBalm, I've been using it a ton, recommending it. It's a beautiful contour shade for me. I do have it in my 9 and 19 Project Pan, so of course, you know, that's a reason why I reach for it, but it's honestly just one of my favorite contours. It is so natural. I just think that it looks so beautiful on the skin, so definitely this one here from TheBalm. My most used bronzer was interesting because, you know, I have one in my shop, my stash. I have just some of my staple bronzers that I always go back for that I enjoy so much. But this bronzer really stole the show for me recently, and I keep reaching for it and I keep reaching for it. This is the new one from Milani. This is their Sunlight Silky Matte Bronzing Powder. The shade is in Sunlight. I really like this bronzer. I cannot stop reaching for it, and I just think it's beautiful. It's a little bit on the lighter side, so sometimes kind of depending where I am in my self-tanning schedule, I have to build it up a little bit, but it's really smooth. It blends out so easily, and again, it's just nice and natural on the skin. It's not orange or anything like that. It just looks so beautiful. I love the finish that it gives, and I just keep reaching for this one super often. You also saw this in my 10-minute makeup routine. I just think that it looks really beautiful and it's easy to work with. For my blush was a little bit hard. I've gotten some newer blushes that I'm really enjoying right now, like the Buxom ones. You know, I have some in my, I have 2 blushes in my Shop My Stash. So I was kind of thinking and looking through my collection, but then I was like, oh no, you know what it is. You know what you keep reaching for. It's from Jouer. It's one of the blush bouquets, and this one is in Adore. It is what's on my face today. I just love this little duo. I have 2 of these from Jouer. I highly recommend them, but I love Adore, and I feel like I reach for this one so much because they're more of these neutral blushes. So I feel like no matter what look it is that I'm doing, this just will pair so well. And again, they're just nice and pigmented. They're nice and long lasting on the skin. They're not too much. I just think they're great, and I also really enjoy this compact, and I think that it's really beautiful. So that one is definitely my most worn blush right now. My most worn highlight was also featured in the makeup that I'm getting my money's worth out of. It's my Natasha Denona Super Glow. I don't have it on right now. I have the Ofra Star Island on, which is another favorite of mine. But if I'm talking about my most reached for, my most worn at this moment, it's definitely the Natasha Denona. I just think it's beautiful. It's so glass-like on the skin. It's so easy to work with. It's so fast. Like, even if I'm doing just a fast routine, boom, this one is going to be so quick. I don't have to build it up a lot. I think that it looks beautiful. It doesn't show texture. It's just gorgeous. What can I say? So definitely my most worn highlight. Eyeshadow palettes kind of was hard because I'm always testing out new eyeshadow palettes. There's always new ones to try. You know, I really want to do a monthly series now ranking the eyeshadow palettes. So I'm trying to get as many looks as I can with that, really reviewing them, getting the photos ready for that video. So it can definitely be pretty challenging, and I don't know if I do these these types of videos more often. Will I always be able to include an eyeshadow palette? I'm not really sure. Just kind of depends on where I am testing wise. But for sure, the last couple weeks, really since I've bought this palette, it has become my most used. It's the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette. If my makeup monthly video for January has gone up, I do feature this in my favorite section. And I said, even though, you know, I want to put these eyeshadow palettes in the ranking videos now, I still wanted to put that one in there because I'm just getting so much use out of this palette. It was $25. You know, it's a very small palette, but you get the 5 shades in here, and these are all such beautiful shades. I feel like they complement each other so well. They're definitely my vibe of shadows that I reach for, except for, you know, today, which we're just doing something a little outside the box today. But I mean, I just keep reaching for it and keep reaching for it. I can do really simple, just mattes. I can add the shimmers in there. Every single shade in here is beautiful, easy to work with, easy to blend, easy to pack onto the lid. I'm so impressed with this eyeshadow palette, honestly. So I thought that I would mention that one. I did want to put an eyeliner in here. I know eyeliners aren't the most talked about things. My mascara was going to roll off the desk. Lightning fast reflexes. No, eyeliners don't get talked about a ton, but I really do like eyeliners, and I feel like they're something that I never skip. I always have my eyeliner on. And right now, my most worn is this one here from Pur. The Pur On Point eyeliners are so freaking good. I hear, you know, I recommend the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide-Ons a ton. I have one on today. Those are great eyeliners, but seriously, the Pur ones are just as good, and I love them because they self-sharpen themselves. As I was filming this tutorial today, I added liner over here with the Urban Decay, and then I had to go sharpen it because I needed to sharpen it for the other eye. It was worn down. Kind of like the name On Point, you put this in, and then when you twist it, there's a sharpener inside, so you always are getting a sharp pencil, and I appreciate that so much. I have a lot of different shades of this, and I would highly recommend these from Pur. The one in Hotline is what I have next to me. It's in kind of like my makeup bag, like my most reached for makeup bag, which is where a lot of these products lay because I reach for them so much. It's a brown, but it has a little bit of like shimmer to it, but not too much or anything, but I just think it goes well with so many different makeup looks. So that's the one I've been reaching for the most. For mascara, again, I like to try different mascaras. I have kind of like a top 3 mascaras at the moment, but my number one most reach for is definitely the Nars Climax. It's just such a good mascara. It makes the lashes long, it gives them curl, it gives them volume, it's very black, and it doesn't flake at all. It doesn't move at all. I don't get any transfer onto my face. So no matter what it is I'm doing, if I just need, you know, a look for a couple hours, or if I'm going to be gone all night long, the Nars Climax is typically what I reach for because I know that it's not going to let me down. So I love this mascara. I wanted to include a brow pencil, and again, I am including a brow pencil in all of my Shop to My Stash, but honestly, I mean, this one here is not the one in the Shop My Stash, but it's my most reached for because it never lets me down. I know that I will never have any issues with this brow pencil, and it's been my holy grail since I started trying it. It's from Benefit. It's the Precisely My Brow. I'm in the shade 3, and it's just truly my favorite brow pencil. It does me no wrong. You know, sometimes I'm trying out new brow pencils, or there's ones that I like, but like sometimes I can't get it quite right. I have the one on from TheBalm today, which is in my Shop My Stash, and I like it, but sometimes I can't get it quite right because it's a little bit on the waxy side. Precisely My Brow, always, each and every time. Whenever I just need go-to brows, boom. Most reach for definitely is the Benefit Precisely My Brow. And then I think I just have lip products that I'm going to wrap it up with. Oh, I'll say setting spray. My most used setting spray at the moment is the one from Morphe. It's the Continuous Setting Mist, mostly because I'm about out of it and I'm really just trying to use it up. Like, it feels empty when I pick it up, but there's still some product when I spray it. But this is a great one too. I already have another backup of it, so I'm really just trying to get through that one. So then I think we just have some lip products to finish up with. It's so funny when I look in the viewfinder, I got highlights the other day and I'm like, whoa, who am I? Who's that? And I got a black smoky eye going on. It's like, I don't know who I am right now. So I think I just have these lip products to finish off with. I didn't do lashes because I don't always use lashes, and I typically rotate my lashes pretty heavily, so I didn't feel like I had a most used pair of false lashes. But I'll go ahead and finish off with some lip products. I have a lip liner, a lip gloss, a regular lipstick, and a liquid lipstick because I love lipstick and that's just the way I live my life, okay? Alrighty, so my most worn like lip combo lip products that I've been wearing recently, I did also mention these in my makeup monthly because they're just my favorites, but that's actually a lip liner and a lip gloss. The Colourpop Oh Snap lip liner. Seriously, if you guys are lip liner fans, or even if you're not a huge lip liner fan but you kind of just like want one hanging around, check out Colourpop because these are super affordable and they are very, very nice. These are my favorite lip liners. I will go ahead and say that. Oh Snap is just such a beautiful like pinky nude. I love it so much. I wear it by itself and just kind of like will fill in my lips, and it's beautiful. I can wear it with a liquid lipstick, a regular lipstick, a gloss, etc. I mean, oh snap, it's just my number one right now. I picked it for my January Shop My Stash, and I'm like, thank goodness, because it's just the bomb. But also this Marc Jacobs, their hydrating lip gloss stick in Mocha Choco-Latte. These two together were just my absolute favorite, but I also really, really like this. I don't love the packaging on the Marc Jacobs because you have to twist them up and then you can't twist them back down, and it's a little bit frustrating, and I don't like to wear this by itself. I feel like it swatches with more color than it actually shows on the lips. So you can see that those are like really complementary to one another. It's more sheared out on the lips for sure, so I do like to pair it with a lip liner because I like my gloss to have like just a little bit more oomph, but it makes the lips just look so beautiful and kind of like glossy and juicy, and there's just like that hint of color with it, and if you mix it with the right lip liner, it just looks beautiful. Very comfortable, very smooth, not sticky at all, not too thick. It's just a really, really solid product. So these two, favorite gloss that I've been wearing recently, favorite lip liner, but together it's just like magic. And then my favorite kind of like regular lipstick, bullet lipstick that I've been wearing, Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. I really didn't even have to think about this one either because this has just gone in my purse with me so often, so often. It's just what I keep reaching for, and it's just, I just think that it's beautiful. So Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. This is a pricey lipstick, but it's the matte finish, and I really enjoy it. I honestly wish it was just like a little bit more matte on my lips. It still has a little bit of a cream finish to me, but it's more matte than cream, I would say. But it's such a beautiful color. It wears really nicely. I just keep reaching for this one, especially just like on nights out. Boom, Pillow Talk, fave. And then my favorite liquid lipstick that I've been wearing, this one kind of caught me off guard. I just reached for it kind of randomly, like I was going through my drawers, you know, this was like several weeks ago. I went through my drawers and I was like, oh, I feel like I haven't worn this one. And then once I put it on, I was like, why didn't I stop wearing that color? Because I love it so much. It's from Dose of Colors. This is a collaboration with I Love Sarah E, and this is in Nude Chica. And now I love the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula. I own several of them. I think that they're fabulous and comfortable and long wearing and all that good stuff. But Nude Chica, I just enjoy so much. A lot of times I will put a lip liner under it, and typically it's oh snap, but I can wear it by itself, but it looks just a little bit more lighter on me. So this one here is Nude Chica from Dose of Colors, but I just love it and I keep wearing it. It's just so flattering. I mean, obviously these are all of my tones and what I wear the most often, of course. But yeah, Nude Chica just keeps going in my purse with me, and I really enjoy it so much. So those would be my number one most worn lip products in each of the different categories. And then after that, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. You'll have to let me know what you thought of this one. If you wanna see more in the future, like I said, every couple months or so, I could come back and update you on what's my number one in each category right now. Those are my most worn in each different makeup category. I hope that you enjoyed this or you found it helpful in some way. I'll link everything down below as always, of course, but if you guys did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.